chances are, if you're watching this video, you don't have one of these Spyderco Para 3s. You're missing out, and I can think of 3 good reasons why you're missing out. Before we go there, guys, if you've ever slept on a knife before and it's sold out by the next morning and you regretted it, hit like and subscribe. As I was saying, I can think of 3 reasons why you should buy the Spyderco Para 3. Reason number 1, this is a USA made knife by a USA company. Spyderco is based out of Golden, Colorado. They do have factories out of Taiwan, and they do work with other countries for their manufacturing, but there's a specific amount of knives that are made in the US. Because they have that manufacturing power, they're able to bring you a USA made knife for a reasonable price. The quality on this knife is insane. And whether or not you agree with those that are like, I gotta buy me an American made knife, or otherwise the quality is bad and you're supporting the commies. Whether or not you agree with those people that think that way, the truth is that when you buy an American made knife from a company that's based here in the United States, you end up supporting the US economy, which you are a part of if you're in the United States. This knife is fantastic. Reason number 2, the compression lock. It basically looks like a backwards liner lock because instead of having it here on the front, it's on the back. You get a stronger lockup this way. In fact, I would actually challenge most locks out there to beat this one. As far as everyday carry knives go, the compression lock is extremely good. You get a really good lockup, and because it's located on the back of the knife, that means you can do it one-handed. Which brings me to the third part as to why you should buy a Spyderco Para 3. The fidget factor on this guy is insane. It's nuts because it's one-handed operation. You'll notice I haven't used my other hand for anything. It's just not doing anything. Because of that, you can open and close this knife in a variety of different ways, including the blade drop, including the Spidey flick. And yes, I said Spidey flick. Some people are gonna be like, it's a reverse flick. It's a middle finger flick. A Spidey flick sounds nerdy. Popularized by Spyderco knives, henceforth, Spidey flick. Whatever. It's very fidgety. It's one of those things that makes you want to just carry a knife, because even if you're not using it for knife stuff like opening Amazon packages or, you know, doing a draw cut on random cardboard because you hate cardboard, it's something that you want to bring with you because it's useful and it's also fun to play with. There is more reasons why you should buy a Spyderco Para 3. This knife, because it's so popular and because it has such a wide following, you can modify the ever-loving out of this knife, okay? On this one, I have currently a titanium pocket clip. I've got a karambit ring, and I've got a Emerson wave feature. Those are all excellent modifications. The pocket clip, because Spyderco's regular plain Jane pocket clip, while it's serviceable, it's just not the greatest. This one looks and feels better. It allows me to pull it out of my pocket faster. The wave feature means that when I do pull it out of my pocket, it's revved and ready to go. It deploys immediately. It deploys faster than an out the front knife does, which is insane. Here's an out the front knife for comparison. That deploys quickly. It doesn't deploy as quickly as the Spyderco with the wave feature, because this little fang right here will pull on the pocket and deploy the blade the moment I pull it out of the pocket, which is fantastic. Even if you're not looking for a tactical reason, it's just nice to have your knife revved and ready to go the moment it's out of your pocket, which is really useful. I put a karambit ring on there. It serves as part of the back spacer, and that allows me to pull it out of my pocket quickly and reliably without depending upon a lanyard. A lot of my other knives have lanyards, like this one. That's what I use the lanyards for. It also gives me some extra grip. Guess what I don't need extra grip on? This Spyderco Para 3. For $150, it's really hard to beat this knife. If you like M390, they make it an M390. If you like S35VN, they make it an S35VN. If you like S45VN, they make it in that steel. They make it in 20CV. I've seen an M4 version. My point is that if you have knife steel specifications that you don't want to stray from, you could probably find it in the Spyderco Para 3. Some of those runs are very exclusive, but they have and will make them in more knife steels than any other brand that I've ever seen. I can't think of a single model that has as many variations as this. I think maybe the closest would be a Benchmade Bug Out. Even then, I don't think that they've made as many variations with as many different knife steels as Spyderco. So for those reasons, I'm going to cut to the B-roll and we can talk about the specs on the Spyderco Para 3, and we'll give you the stock specs since they don't all come with titanium handle scales and karambit rings. I know that when looking at this specific knife, this one has been heavily modified. Let's imagine for a second that instead the knife you were looking at came with a 3-inch blade. Let's imagine for a second that it had 150 thousandths behind the blade. Let's imagine that it came in a clip point and that the handle length was less than 4.5 inches with an overall length less than 7.5 inches. But that didn't deter the knife from being able to fit well in even large size hands. Let's imagine for a second that you had the option between S110V, S45VN, M390, M4, or 20CV. Let's imagine that it came with G10 handle scales. Because when you're imagining that, you're thinking exactly of this knife. And the many variations that this knife can come in. The sad part is that many people that aren't experienced in the knife world will see the blade shape and immediately be turned off because it doesn't look standard. And it's not standard. The Spyderco Para 3 has been a staple for many knife enthusiasts because after picking it up, it's just quite simply hard to put down. The fact remains, this knife can be purchased anywhere from $120 to $200, and yet be the main carry knife that you use. It's enjoyable to hold, it feels good in the hand, and the truth is that it's just damn good. Spyderco makes a lot of different variations of this knife. You can't go wrong with any of them. And if you really want to make this knife your own, the great news is that a quick trip to Etsy or Amazon or eBay will show you many custom modifications that you can add to truly make this knife your own. Unlike other brands like Microtech, which are great, you can't really customize those knives. You can't really modify those knives. You can modify a Spyderco Para 3. The options are out there and the choice is yours. Even if you want to keep it in the stock format, that's your choice. Having that ability to decide for yourself is important because whether you decide to modify your knife or not, having the ability to decide is the definition of freedom. Make sure you drop by the description below. I will link as many different variants of the Spyderco Para 3 as I can find. And somewhere out there is the perfect one for you.